Good morning and good afternoon, Santa Cruz, and everybody out there in KSEO land. This is Dr. Duncan McCollum, and this is McCollum Wellness Radio. And I'm here every Saturday, and I am very happy to be here today. Uh, I woke up this morning and it was still very, very cold and smoky where I live, or overcast. And, it's like, where is life as it should be? What's happened to us, not only with, COVID, but with all the fires and the unpredictability of what's going on with our life and health right now is pretty crazy. So, I just kind of wanted to go through kind of what I've been going through because I thought if I did that, it might relate to you a little bit. And maybe you can understand that there are some things you can do about it. So, one thing I can tell you is, that I was walking on the beach this morning about 6 o'clock in Seacliff, and not only were there pilot whales out there, which was really fun, but I noticed that I can't get a full breath of air. And I don't know if anybody out there is experiencing that. It's like after so long of wearing the mask and feeling the moisture that you're breathing out into your mask that gets taken back into your lungs, you can't help but have a dankness or a dampness in there. And I wanted to talk to you about some things you can do about it. Also, now on top of that, with the fires and all of the chemicals in the fires, there's lots of heavy metals and biochemicals and things that are burning that should never burn, and those are in the air. And not only from our fires, but they're coming from up north. As you know, we've been inundated with a lot of smoke from some of the northern fires above our cloud level, and then those have just caused us to be have more and more weirdness in our town and in the state. I was in Los Angeles last weekend, and where I was, it was pretty clear where I was staying with a friend, but then driving home all the way through the valley, the sun was orange, and it was it was pretty crazy. I mean, I couldn't roll down the window because of the smoke, and you just have to wonder when is life going to normalize again? I mean, and if it in the meantime, what do I do to keep myself healthy? So also, I just had a very interesting thing happen. I ate some food on the way home, and I got food poisoning, and that was very interesting. It went right to my appendix. I could feel that my appendix was swollen. Rather, luckily it didn't burst, so I knew what to do. I fasted for 4 days, a 4-day broth fast. And by doing a bone broth fast, what it does is it takes the inflammation out of your intestines, out of your stomach, your small intestine, and large intestine, because that inflammation is what causes the appendix to become swollen. First, there's poisons that get into the appendix, which is located right at the junction of the small and large intestine on the right side of your gut. And I'm sure we've all known people that have had them rupture or had various kinds of problems where they had to have it taken out. Well, I talked to a couple people and I go, oh my God, you got to go to the hospital and get it taken out. I'm going, no, I don't think so. Not only it's not, I'm not going to let it rupture. I know what to do. So my point is, if you know how to take care of your health and if you know what to do, you can actually pretty much heal from almost anything, especially if you start to change your health now. And those of you that have listened to my show for a while know that I really advocate learning how to fish rather than getting a fish. Getting a fish would be like going to the whatever kind of doctor and have them give you a supplement to cover up your symptom. And then you think, oh, good, I'm fine until the symptom comes back. But you never plug the hole in the boat. And you may have heard me say this analogy before, but let's say you're driving, you're floating on a river in a rowboat and you notice you have a leak in the boat and it's filling up pretty quickly. And we'll call that leak a underlying condition. The symptom is the boat's filling up with water. So you have a couple choices. And the first one would be to get the tin can that's in the boat and start bailing out the boat faster than the boat's filling up. So you might start with one tin can. Pretty soon you got 2 or 3 or 4 tin cans. This isn't Michael Ols's tin can. That's a great book. But you're going to be using as many hands as possible to bail that boat out. We'll liken that to a medication or a drug, that you start with one drug to handle the symptom and you're bailing out the boat with that medication, but you're not solving the problem, which is the hole in the boat. Pretty soon that one can isn't working fast enough, so you need to get 2 or 3 cans, and you're bailing faster than, as fast as you can, and ultimately if the boat fills up with water faster than you can bail, the boat's going to sink. And that's a really good analogy of what happens with our health in this country. We go through life, we get a symptom or two, we get well and go on with our life. We think that we don't have time to take care of it, or we don't know that we need to take care of it. And slowly but surely, we end up becoming very sick. And this is you can take a look at a country. 50% of us are diabetic or pre-diabetic. That doesn't just happen from a gene. It happens by things you're putting in your body. And again, I was talking about what's going on with the smoke in the environment and the stress, amazing amount of stress from COVID. And that stress messes with your adrenal glands. And we'll get back to that in a minute. But back to the boat analogy, if you're bailing out that boat and then, 2 or 3 or 4 medications, you're bailing out the boat and that's your body's health, but it's not getting any healthier. But you keep going on because you believe that's what you're supposed to do and that's what you've been told, but you're getting heavier. Your energy's going down. Maybe you're starting to get other kind of conditions like asthmas or allergies or high blood pressure or high cholesterol, and they keep giving you a new tin can to bail out the boat or bail the fat out of your blood. So that's one way to go. And that's unfortunately the way we've been raised. That's what's going on with our country. That's why 50% of us are diabetic or pre-diabetic. And the treatment for that is, diabetic medication, which is ultimately insulin and metformin, which has been proven to barely make any effect on it. And so now, what if we switched over and we decided, I'm not going to use a tin can, I'm going to use a gourd. I'm going to use a gourd to bail out my boat. So you take a gourd, because that's natural, you just cut the top off of it and take all the seeds out. And then you start using that gourd to bail out your boat. Well, pretty soon you need 2 or 3 gourds. Well, that's equivalent to supplements, vitamins, minerals, different herbs and concoctions put together by the various companies out there. And it's better than if it can handle your symptoms, it's better than a medication, because the medications have side effects that can be devastating. And all you have to do is read the side of your bottle. I'm not a medical doctor, so I'm not prescribing or de-prescribing medication. I'm just giving a viewpoint of thought. And it's kind of funny if you're driving along on the freeway and there's an accident and a mile or 2 back your car slows down. You go, what the heck's going on? And you get closer to the accident and you go, oh good, I'm going to be able to go quickly here in a minute. But you slow down like everybody else and you look at that accident and go, well, when you look at the side effects on the side of a bottle of drugs, I think we do the same thing. It's not going to happen to me. So we think that it's safe to take the medication, but I don't have to worry about the side effects. Oftentimes it's tell your doctor if you have liver disease or, if you're pre-diabetic or if you're allergic to the drug you're now going to take, like you should know that. So, that is a solution out there. Is it optimal? I'd recommend that you take a look at it. Basically, if you're bailing your boat out or your unhealthy bottle out with supplements, you still have to bail it out quicker than the boat fills up with water or your body fills up with ill health, which is inflammation, by the way. We'll talk about that in a minute, and also talk about some solutions. So what happens is your body just gets sicker and sicker and sicker. I have people come into my office with bags full of supplements that they're taking. And they go, can you test me on all these supplements? And there's 15 or 20 supplements in the bag that they've been taking for years. And they're sick. So what happens when you take a supplement for too long, your body becomes used to it and it disappears. It becomes part of the background. So it's really important. Our goal is for you just be able to get your body healthy first, repair the liver, the kidney, the gallbladder, the digestive system, the stomach, the lungs, heart, all that stuff as much as you can, and the brain. And then eat healthy foods, learn how to not overfeed yourself, which is an epidemic in this country. And then you can live lean and mean. We know that the people that eat less live longer. And and they live healthier because they don't have excess toxins in their body based on the fact that the body holds fat. And so it's really important that we understand that our health depends on what we know and what we, the individual whose body it is, decide to do about it. I'm writing a book right now. It's my second health book. It's called Reversing the Biological Clock, An Old Hitchhiker's Guide to Better Health. And it talks about a guy that wakes up one morning in a hospital bed and he doesn't know where he's at, and he feels something in his nose, and he finds a tube that wanders off the table. He opens his eye very slowly and he sees that he's on a life support monitor. And it goes on from there, and he realizes I'm 63 years old and this is how I ended up, and I don't even know how I got here. And his journey becomes one of learning how to get himself healthy again. And so I will have that out probably by February, and it's going to be a great book. I'm real excited about it. It will be a narrative. So we're up against our first break here, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. This is Dr. Duncan McCollum, McCollumWellnessRadio.com. We'll see you in just a second. And as you know, we are going to embark on a 7-week fasting extravaganza, if I would call it. And Dr. Pompa is really helping us lay this out. I thought maybe you could just give some words of encouragement and or any other advice that people might need.
Well, there's some popular words out there right now, right? Intermittent fasting just happens to be the #1 Google health term right now, right? So if you don't know what it is, well, you'll find out. Ketosis, ketones, right? Another one. I don't know what number it is, but it's in the top. There's a lot of interest in this right now. Well, you're going to learn about that. You're going to learn about how to be fat adapted and why that's important for most conditions that people are dealing with today, even weight loss resistance. But really, we're going to talk about, how all of that works up to a fast and what happens during a fast, where your body actually eats its bad cells, literally. It's called autophagy. Nobel Prize 2016 was won on this term. And more importantly, how it raises up stem cells. Mm-hmm. And by the way, that's when we get older. That's kind of what we lose. And that's why you don't look as good or feel as fast.
That's exactly what are you saying.
Not you.
Oh, okay.
Me too. But anyways, but when you fast, you raise up natural stem cells. So this process that you're going to be teaching, we as a group are going to be teaching, it's basically how to maximize these stem cells, how to maximize this autophagy, and really how to maximize healing and really longevity. I mean, it goes beyond disease. This is talking about living long, healthy. So you're going to learn all of that. You need to be there.
So basically, we're going to be, people are probably going to have situations like autoimmune disease or weight loss resistance, possibly pre-diabetic. People like this might benefit from something like this.
All of hormone dysregulation. I mean, people just don't feel well, aren't sleeping well. These are hormone problems, but you heard so many scientists talking about these principles and how they create this hormone optimization. And that's why people can't lose weight, right? That's why people don't feel well. So anyway, you're going to learn it all. I mean, it's something that nobody is doing. We have the largest group doing this. We have, look, $44 million was given from the NIH in this area. Wow. That you're going to be discussing. So I think it's worth being there.
So if you're wondering why you still don't feel well, and then you're going to hear some stuff you've never heard before. And we're going to really help you get on the road to recovery and enjoy the next chapter of your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Hey, this is Dr. Duncan McCollum. Thanks a lot for tuning in. You know, you've heard me talk about this amazing new machine called the TRT machine, or the Tissue Regenerative Technology machine. We've had such amazing results, and I really want you to experience it. So I'm still offering the $49 special. I'm going to play a little snip from my friend and patient Noel. He's talked before. He's a diabetic patient, and let's just listen to what he has to say about his treatment with the TRT machine. You don't realize how much you use your toes for balance until there's no feeling in them. And so I've got the feeling back in my toes, and my balance is greatly improved. Definitely recommend it. So that's it, the TRT machine, or the Tissue Regenerative Technology machine. I highly recommend you check it out. If you want to go to trtllc.com, like TRT Limited Liability.com, you can find out about this. People are calling it the stem cell machine, and it's just phenomenal. So you definitely want to give it a try. Give our office a call, 459-9990, 831-459-9990.
Okay, we're back. This is Dr. Duncan McCollum, and you just heard me talking about this machine, the stem cell machine. And I'm telling you, if you haven't come in and checked it out for your health conditions, you really should. We've had phenomenal results. There's only less than 600 in the world, less than 150 in the country, and I just found out that my number is 403. So I have the 403. That's pretty cool in the world. And we've seen just remarkable changes, and it puts a sound wave out that comes 3,358 beats per minute, or miles an hour. It comes out at 3,358 miles an hour. The shock waves do, and they come and they find damaged tissue, and they re-stimulate that tissue to let the brain know that there's something to heal, and it creates a stem cell response and a new blood vessel creation, which is pretty phenomenal. So anyhow, we're back to talking about what the heck happened to our normal life. Life as usual just doesn't exist anymore, at least for now, and we're going to have it come back. But one thing I think that we all should take a look at is how will I be different? What is it that I will do different? And hopefully, like a lot of my patients have talked to me about, they go, I realize that my health is up to me now. I can't just go through and expect it to be taken care of. Still, even today, there's 6+ months after the beginning of this thing, there's so much confusion on what's going on with this virus. So much confusion on, should we wear masks? Shouldn't we wear masks? All those deaths really caused by COVID, or did people die of other things and just have the COVID antibody? So it wasn't really COVID that killed them. I mean, and then do we need herd immunity? And if we do need herd immunity, don't we want there to be more cases so that we get herd immunity? And you just realize that there's a lot of confusion, and when there's a lot of confusion, there's usually lies involved. So I don't know on which side of the fence you believe those lies are, probably on both. But I can tell you one thing, the only way that you are going to be healthy is for you to take care of your own health and get your body as healthy as possible. The people that are less susceptible to anything are the ones that don't have comorbidities. They're not diabetic, they're not pre-diabetic, they don't have thyroid disease, they don't have autoimmune disease, they don't have high blood pressure, high cholesterol, asthmas and allergies. They aren't already suffering from dementia. So some of you might be thinking, well, that's just the luck of the draw. It isn't. It's the environment affecting your body. There might be some very rare cases where your genes just got turned on at a young age, but quite honestly, your body is amazing. Your body has the power to heal itself. It's got an innate intelligence that is unbelievable. And so, I need your help. I want to ask for your guys' help. I usually just get on here and talk about stuff, but I'm running into problems that you can assist me in. And that is talk to people that that are succumbing to the mental stress or the physical stress, the chemical stress of what's going on. I've had patients come in one lady had very, very bad sciatica. I actually wrote a book on the new book for sciatica here. You can download it for free, and you can go to Amazon.com and pay for it, but you can download it for free at McCollumWellness.com. And in it is a lot of information about inflammation in your body and what you can do about it, and a lot of the steps that you can actually do yourself to start your body on the road to recovery. But the thing is that a lot of people don't know that there's something else they can do. I have my podcast going now. I have a new podcast, and it's McCollumWellnessRadio.com. If you go to iTunes or I think it's Red Cloud, or any of the platforms for podcasts, you can go to McCollum Wellness Radio, and you will get access to my podcasts, and they're free. And I would love for you to take part in it, and tell your friends, just get on these podcasts and listen to it, so it's on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Radio Public. And we just want to get people the information they need. And now my academy that I started is a year academy. And this is a great way to be in a group of people that are really making changes. We do 6 challenges a year. So every other month we do a challenge. We just did a 15-day ketogenic challenge, intermittent fasting challenge, where at the end of 15 days, people did a 30-hour fast. Those who were ready for it, some weren't. But we taught them how to get into ketosis. We taught them how to test their ketones to find out where they were. We got them eating less than 3 meals a day, eating healthy foods, eliminating toxic foods. And this is all in a class. And now our next thing that we're going to be doing is walking people through a 5-day water fast. That's coming up in a week or so. I just did a 4-day water fast because of the food poisoning that I got. I've done several of them. We know that Dr. Thomas Siegfried, the leading gentleman on cancer, said that if you do one 5-day water fast a year, it will decrease your risk of cancer by 95%. So that's worth doing. It's worth, the last thing you want to do is wait till it's too late and wish you would have done something about it. It's just like a tooth. It's just like your car. If you have a nice car, you take care of it, you get the oil changed, you tune it up. You don't let it break down and smoke and, have steam coming out of the motor and the radiator before you do something about it. We tend to do that with our health. We tend to look at yourself. Just go look at yourself in the mirror. Are you one of the 50% of the Americans that are overweight or obese? Do you look tired? Does your body look gray? Are your pores large because of toxins? Is your hair falling out? Is your energy low? Have you already been diagnosed with things like thyroid disorder, adrenal stress, fibromyalgia, Crohn's disease? All these things are basically turned on genes. So the reason these genes get turned on is because of inflammation in our body. The number one cause of any disease in our body is inflammation. You pick up any in the newspaper, any article, look on the internet. What does chronic inflammation have to do with health? Everything. Chronic inflammation causes chronic disease. So you can decide to stay on the chronic disease side and bail that boat out with a tin can or a gourd, and you'll be doing that the rest of your life as the ship is slowly sinking. And I don't know about you, I don't want to be, I'm 64 right now, I don't want to be, 70, 75, 80, 90, and have my health failing so bad because I waited too long. So I want to do something about it now. It's actually fun. And if you really start to learn how to take care of your health, it's fun. The McCollum Wellness Academy, you can go to McCollumWellness.com. That's my website. So we have McCollum Wellness Radio, McCollumWellness.com, McCollumWellnessRadio.com. Just check them out, and then let's get you signed up for the Academy. We have a special on it right now where you actually will be enrolled in our 7-week course. You just heard Dr. Dan Pompa, the leading authority on cellular detox, talking about the course. It's a 7-week course that at the end of that 7-week course, we take you into a 5-day water fast. And that course is normally $299. And you get that included for the year cost of the academy. It's less. It's a lot less just for that. So you save $50 just to join the course. You get the 7-week fasting course on it. You get over $1,000 in other discounts. One of the things that we're doing in my office is we're getting ready to start a 90-day true cellular detox program. Now, this is the first thing I ever did when I got involved with Dr. Pompa. And it's a 3-step program where first and foremost, we want to, it gets the heavy metals out of your body. Now, we're breathing heavy metals right now. We're breathing toxins, we're breathing chemicals, we're breathing, very, very bad things. And and those get into our body, get into our bloodstream, circulate around our blood, get next to the cells, get in the cells, and make us sick. The cells have everything to do with our health. Why? Because the cells are the only thing that are alive in our body. We have 75 trillion cells. And when those 75 trillion cells are toxic, good luck being healthy. And that is basically the problem, is our cells, and especially the one that are diabetic or pre-diabetic, the cell walls are so toxic, so inflexible, that nutrients, including sugar, insulin can't even open the cell wall to let sugar in anymore. That's not genetic. It's chemically and toxin induced. The cell walls don't have the right oils in them anymore. They've been filled up with greasy, fried food oils, and they're unpenetrable by a lot of hormones. So if insulin can't get in your body, and you keep stuffing more and more insulin in, you're going to eventually get the glucose out of the blood, because you got to get the glucose out of the blood or it will kill you. And they have you eat 6 meals of glucose a day in this country. So what happens is the cell walls become so impermeable that not only the hormone insulin can't get in, but also the hormone testosterone, progesterone, estrogen, thyroid hormone, and all the other hormones can't get in the cell wall either. So you can go through life, and let's say you're a woman, and you're pre-diabetic or you're diabetic, so they have you taking insulin. Now you're 40 years old, you're getting symptoms of hot flashes and premenopause and stuff like that. So they go, oh, your body doesn't have enough estrogen. So they give you estrogen, which is usually made out of pregnant horse urine, called estradiol, which is called Premarin, and that stuff is cancerous. And then they give you a hormone called progestin that is not progesterone. It's similar to it, but it has some of the opposite effects. Instead of resting the heart, it makes the heart work harder. They use progestin because it's man-made, where progesterone, it occurs naturally in nature. And so you got to realize that this business of the health industry is not designed to keep people well and to have the public use less and less and less drugs. I mean, that's not a business model. A business model is, let's create more and more and more need for more and more and more drugs. I mean, unethical, you can decide, but it is up to you to be the guy that, or the person or the woman that are going, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to change my health. The first step is to join our academy. It's McCollum Wellness Academy. You can go to McCollumWellness.com and find out about it there. And, I really hope you do. We have a private Facebook group. We do lots of different Zoom meetings in that group, a lot of different teaching. We share recipes, and people talk about what they're doing that's changing their life. And it's really nice to have that group. I was talking about the cellular healing, the true cellular detox. And what I wanted to mention before I got sidetracked is, when your body is inflamed and your large intestine is inflamed, and it is because of all of the Roundup that you've consumed on the food, it's called glyphosate. It's inflamed because of the man-made gluten strains that our body's never seen before, and the amount of it that you take. On top of that, it's been sprayed with glyphosate extremely. And if you don't believe that, you can always email me at info@mccollumwellness.com, and I'll get you the information on it. So the first month typically we are going to be healing your gut. It's your large intestine is one cell thick. Imagine that, one cell thick. And when you get Crohn's disease or colitis means inflammation of. Colon is your large intestine. Colitis means inflammation of the colon. Basically, those cell walls get opened up. The spaces between the cells get opened up. That's what inflammation is. And so just like if you had, excuse me, a cut on your skin and it got infected, it's got swelled up and stuff started to come out of it, ooze out of it, excuse me. That is the same thing that happens in your large intestine. And that can't be healthy. And if it goes on long enough, it becomes chronic. It can cause all kinds of terrible diseases. And other than that, it just makes you feel lousy, sick, and you start to not be able to digest the healthy food. The microbiome of bugs in your gut become very unhealthy. And next thing you know, you're going down that road of Western civilization. 50% of us are sick. 81 million Americans have multiple chronic diseases, according to Michigan University. And comorbidity is what they're called, and you've probably heard that term come out. So you can do something about this. You can change the way your body functions. And so I really recommend that you go to my website, McCollumWellness.com, and check out our academy. We are also talking about the detox program that we will be doing a group, so there'll be a discount on it. It's a 90-day program. We'll talk about it more when we come back from the break. We're going to listen to Dr. Jason Fung talk about insulin and diabetes. And this man he wrote the book, The Complete Code to Fasting, the Obesity Code, and he's a brilliant man. So let's listen to him. Dr. Fung is an amazing doctor, nephrologist who's really breaking amazing ground with diabetes. And he has been embracing the nation with fasting and how we can actually, through fasting, reverse type 2 diabetes. So we're really glad to have you here. And I thought maybe you could just mention a few things about it.
Yeah, it's not very hard to understand, because if you don't eat, then your body is going to need to use up that glucose, because it's an energy source. So if you don't eat, your blood sugar fall. Everybody knows that. So then why can't we use that as a therapeutic option? Because now you've got a sort of treatment that's 100% natural, completely free, and wouldn't that be better to do than to go see your doctor and take expensive medications that have potential side effects? And that's the real thing, is that this represents a new option for people that a lot of people haven't thought about before. And it's like, if it works, great. If it doesn't work, well, you really haven't lost anything. Like, you don't eat for a few hours. That's the only thing. You're hungry for a little bit. You haven't lost anything. But if it works for you, it really can change your life, because that type 2 diabetes can cause so many diseases, right? It can cause heart disease and kidney disease and blindness and stroke.
Yeah, number one cause of kidney failure too, right?
Exactly, and it's no fun. And at that point, if you develop all those diseases, there's nothing you can do about it. And one of the things that people always think is that, well, I can go get some insulin from my doctor.
Right.
And the problem with that is that, yes, you can get insulin from the doctor. It won't make you healthier. That's the point. That if you have type 2 diabetes and you take all these medications, you don't actually prevent any heart disease or strokes or anything like that. The insulin doesn't make it better, because it doesn't break the sugar.
Yeah, and you were mentioning too that insulin, most people have a problem with too much insulin anyway. Yeah. So when you said, why the heck would you give somebody more insulin if their problem is too much insulin in the first place?
Exactly. And the insulin, as everybody who takes it knows, causes weight gain. You take insulin, you gain weight. Well, how is that going to make your diabetes? Well, it's going to make it worse. So you're taking a drug that, yes, your sugars will get better, but your underlying disease is going to get worse.
Right.
And it's like year after year, you're just giving yourself more medications. And guess what? That's exactly what we saw. So, in the standard treatment, and the scary part, of course, is that you could go to 99% of doctors, even at like the fanciest medical schools, and they'll treat you exactly the same. So they'll give you first a drug and another drug, then insulin, more insulin, more insulin.
Right.
And they think that they're doing great, but at the end of the day, they've got their heart disease, they've got their strokes, they've got their kidney disease. They haven't actually done anything.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
here. You've helped so many people,
Thank
and
you so
it's
much.
really great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, this is Dr. Duncan McCollum. Thanks a lot for tuning in. You've heard me talk about this amazing new machine called the TRT machine, or the Tissue Regenerative Technology machine. We've had such amazing results, and I really want you to experience it. So I'm still offering the $49 special. I'm going to play a little snip from my friend and patient. He's talked before, and let's just listen to what he has to say about his treatment with the TRT machine. I have Gary here. This got his fourth treatment on your knees, and even from the first treatment you had some success and results. So can you tell us? A year and 2 months ago, I got knocked down by a horse, and I got a grade 2 pull on my hamstring, and from there everything went to hell. I was walking 3.5 miles a day. I went from that to walking less and less, and because it was so painful, and my other knee started hurting me. And then I stepped off a ladder and jammed my knee. It took me the next morning 5 minutes by the time I stood up to get out of my bedroom. It was so painful. At the same time, I found out about the TRT from the doc, and I knew that that was for me. So almost feeling completely normal. So it's been great. I was walking stiff-kneed on one side because it was just flopping out of place. Now I can bend my knee and walk. I totally recommend this. One time, and you'll just go, whoa. So that's it, the TRT machine, or the Tissue Regenerative Technology machine. I highly recommend you check it out. If you want to go to trtllc.com, like TRT, limitedliability.com, you can find out about this. People are calling it the stem cell machine. It's just phenomenal. So you definitely want to give it a try. Give our office a call. 459-9990, 831-459-9990.
Okay, I'm back. That sounds like the guy that was just talking. It is. So I appreciate KSCO. I appreciate you being listeners out there, and I hope that spending this time gives you guys some hope and gives you some ideas on what you can do for your health. We heard Dr. Jason Fung talk about you can take insulin for your diabetes, and yeah, it does cause your blood sugar to stabilize, but it doesn't handle the underlying cause, and your diabetes gets worse and worse and worse. And that's why diabetes is the #1 cause of preventable blindness, #1 cause of limb amputation, #1 cause of kidney failure. It increases your risk of heart disease, of cancer, everything. So it's considering that 50% of of people in our country are diabetic or pre-diabetic. If we could teach them how to handle this condition and reverse it, which it is reversible if we catch it in time, then we can prevent that, and people can actually live a healthy life, and then hopefully just not wake up one day. That would be ideal. Not going through life not remembering who you are, because diabetes type 3 is Alzheimer's disease. That comes about when you have too much insulin in your blood for too long, which is exactly what you get from the medical doctor who's treating your diabetes with insulin. So, it's crazy. The facts are out there. And still the Western medical people are still doing it the same way. So at any rate, I'm throwing a lot of stuff at you today. I kind of came with my heart on my sleeve, just trying to figure out, what is going on with me personally, because with all of the stress that's been out there, with all the smoke that's been out there, I get up in the morning and I go look outside and I see that yellow sky, and it's been cold and dreary, and I don't feel like I know where I'm living anymore. It's like, it's different. That is can be very stressful mentally, and that affects your adrenal glands, which I've mentioned. Your adrenal glands start to put out a hormone called cortisol, which, it creates a fight or flight mechanism. And that fight or flight means that every time your adrenal glands kick out cortisol, that means that you're supposed to be running as fast as you can from something. So when you're running as fast as you can, your body's very smart. So it turns down your digestion, It turns down your immune system. It turns down basic brain function because you don't have to think smart. You just got to run fast. You don't have to digest. You just got to run fast. You don't have to handle the splinter in your finger. You just got to run fast to get away from the tiger. Today, the tiger's invisible. You can't see it. You can't smell it, taste it. You don't know if it's there or not. You're always afraid it's going to jump out and bite you. So if this lasts for a long time, 6 months is pretty darn long, our adrenal glands get weak and our sympathetic nervous system gets overused, and our parasympathetic nervous system, which is all of the relaxing, loving hormones, is underutilized. Eventually, you're going to burn out. You're going to, what happens, and we get to a point where we've been in fear for so long, or whatever emotion you want to put on it, and then somebody comes along in a position of authority and says, don't worry, we got you covered, go this way. We haven't been able to make our own decision on what to do for a long time. We've been, I say we generally because I wouldn't put myself in that category, but a lot of people do. They go by what they see or read in the paper, whether it's true or not. Again, the degree of complexity is directly relational to the degree of something not being confronted, or the degree of this, so it should be simple. Come on, we're living 2020. We should know what this thing, and now Dr. Fauci all of a sudden seems to know exactly when the next wave is coming. He was involved with this stuff, COVID, back in 2014 or something. Oh gosh, guess what? It's going to show up again. How does he know? How did he know it was going to show up this year? Where did it come from? What was his ties? I'm sorry, I don't mean to get political here, but, too many people's lives are being affected dramatically. And look at California. How many businesses have been lost or closed and aren't going to come back? The game plan is such that, I don't know how our state is going to recover. And it's sad because we are such a beautiful nation, a beautiful people. When you're stressed for a long period of time and you have your fight or flight mechanism go, you can't help but be down in that fear, anger band. Fear, anger, depression, anxiety, you're not up in happiness and serotonin flowing through your body and dopamine making you feel good. We're so, as a society, we've been beaten down so long that now somebody comes along and goes, follow me this way. A lot of times our senses don't tell us that we should be doing something else. That something else is taking care of your own health. Take your health into your own hands. And you can do that by, look, join my academy. It's McCollum Wellness Academy. You can find it online, MCCOLLUM, wellnessacademy.com, or McCollumWellnessRadio.com. Any of those will get you there. Join a group of people that are just saying, that's it, I'm going to take care of my own health. We had so much fun doing our last fast. Several veterans from almost 2 years ago were in the class. Some of them just jumped right into a 5-day water fast. Debbie did. She got her ketones up to 5, which is huge. And that means that she's breaking down old damaged cells in her body, and her body's making new stem cells. So the true cellular detox, I'm kind of running out of time here, but there are 3 phases to it. And this is the prep phase, where we heal the gut, heal the digestive system. Then the body phase, where we start to pull toxins and heavy metals and chemicals out of your organs of your body. And then finally the brain phase, where we go after the heavy metals, toxins, lead, mercury, all that kind of stuff in your brain, which of course insulin is crossing the blood-brain barrier, causing diabetes type 3 or Alzheimer's disease. Because of the glyphosate in our environment, the blood-brain barrier, just like the gut barrier, has been expanding, allowing chemicals to get in there that should never be there, driving the heavy metals deeper into our brain, causing more and more dementia. And this program will help you get on the road and teach you what you need to do to get your health back, get your life back, get your brain back, get rid of the brain fog and things like that, get your energy back, and increase your body's immune system. That's the only thing you can do right now. I mean, we're not going to sit around and wait for this to blow over. It's not blowing over. And even if it does, if you haven't changed something in your health, you're never going to have the health you want. So we talk about this all in the Academy. Um, I know I really want to ask you for your help. Just guide people to my podcast now, McCollum Wellness Radio.com is my podcast. It's on Spotify, Apple, whatever mediums are out there. I don't know. I want to tell you that I've had to work really hard at my age to learn all of these different mediums and channels. It's really unbelievable that I'm even doing this, but I care to, and I love being on here and talking to you guys on Saturday and trying to give you something that you can do to improve your health. Because if you don't do it, nobody will. So again, I'm going to just promote the Academy. It's McCollumWellnessAcademy.com. And our next, I think it's coming up next Wednesday, we're going to start having people look at doing fasting. We're going to compare water fast to bone broth fast. We're going to talk about partial fasting. And they'll look at how you can do it, what you want to look out for, how do you know you're doing it right, how do you know you need to back off, and then you also, if you're in the Academy, you have an avenue. You can just email us or get on our Facebook, our private Facebook, and put out questions, and the group helps you. And I'm real excited about it, and I want to see more and more people get on here so we can change the health of our community and the world. I work with Dr. Dan Pompa and about 50 to 60 other doctors around the country, Canada, and we are working very hard to bring you all the newest information as it comes down from the science. And you may or may not realize this, but a lot of times the new science doesn't get into the medical community for years. Part of this is because medical companies or drug companies have spent millions, if not billions of dollars to create a drug to handle a symptom. And then all of a sudden we say we can get rid of the symptom. They have an investment they got to get back. Maybe it's strictly business, I don't know. Or it just takes a long time for the information to permeate down through the individuals. We have an amazing healthcare system in our country here. It's fantastic when you need help with, broken bones or need things sewn up. Chronic disease is not necessarily our strong suit, because chronic disease has one cause that's called chronic inflammation. And when you have chronic inflammation, you have inflammation around a cell too long, then that cell's going to become damaged. It's going to become unhealthy. It's going to not be able to produce the energy that it should. It's going to start to be toxic. And then the bad genes are going to be turned on inside those cells. And those bad genes are cancer cells, rheumatoid arthritis cells, heart disease cells, Alzheimer's genes, all those genes get turned on inside your cell. And they get turned on because of toxins, no other reason. Stress is a toxin. Stress, we talked about mental stress, physical stress. And as a chiropractor, one thing you get in the Academy is a complete chiropractic checkup, x-rays, and a evaluation, and the next day report of findings, all for, we don't charge you for that other than the 1 year date on the Academy. That's a $400 savings right there. And you don't have to do anything. You can just take that information and go, thank you very much. And anything we offer you a choice, but we want you to get the information you need. So I think the take home today, is we've just got a few minutes left, is take a look at yourself, take a look at your health, take a look at what's gone on for the past 6 months, from COVID to the face masks, to the fear, the guilt complexes put out there. Now the fires and the toxins from the fires, it cannot be good. The stress from the COVID brings down your immune system. Wearing a mask and breathing your own carbon dioxide brings down your immune system. It causes dampness in your lungs. And if you feel the dampness in your lungs, give me a call. I'll do a complimentary phone consultation with anybody that calls 831-459-9990 and mentions this show. And, we'll talk about whether or not you should come in and let me help you detoxify. We should work on your immune system, your nervous system. I really want to help people be healthier. That's really my goal here. And that's why I created the Academy, so people from all over the country can join. And, that way we all work better. We're all stronger when we have a big group working together. So I really appreciate KSEO again. I love being here every Saturday. I love bringing on guest speakers like Dr. Dan Pompa, David Wolf, Ben Asadi from the Keto Camp's been on here, and Drew Manning. And we're going to be bringing on more guest speakers. I've had Andy Wakefield on here. I've done interviews with Dr. Dan Pompa and Bobby Kennedy. We need to stop the train that's running down the track with no brakes. It's going very fast, and it's taken all of us with it. And anybody that's wise enough to look up and decide they want to go another way, they have the opportunity to do that. And I want to invite you into our group, our academy, to do it. Or if you just want to have questions, email info at McCollum County Chiropractic, or info at McCollumWellness.com, either one. Info at McCollumWellness.com would be better. And we'll try to answer any questions for you. So I really appreciate you all being here. We're running up against the end of the hour, and I will be back next week. You guys have a great day, and please help me out. Talk to your friends, get them on my podcast, get them to listen to this show, get into the academy, and let's change the world. Thank you so much.